Welcome to the Dance Diaries. I'm Carole.
And I'm Kim. Welcome, everyone.
We're so happy to have you guys today. Join us on our Dance Diaries podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about how we visualize victory and the mindset that we have to do to get ready for that.
Yes, we are. Such an important topic. We often, right, Carole, I feel like we often overlook this really important topic about mindset and preparation for competitions. But not only that, it's preparation even for your lessons. Just Carole, what mindset do you engage in?
And I feel that some of the people we've interviewed lately were all about that. I know we're getting close to getting to that point where we're going to go back into our Pro-Am competition.
Yes,
so
we are.
The timing is perfect.
It is. During competitions, I would take time away from the competition floor, and I would do my ritual, whatever I do to get myself prepared for the competition, mindset. I have rituals because I'm also, as you know, a certified life coach. So I do coaching and I share coaching, but people would come up to me and ask me, was I okay? And I would say, oh, absolutely.
Did it look outside of your normal behavior? Is that why?
Because I go internally, so I get quiet. I visualize, we'll talk about some of those things and the habits and the ritual, the rituals that I incorporate and maybe you do too. But yeah, the first question when it was not really understood, Kim, are you okay? Because usually I am, I'm bubbly and I'm open and I'm, all prepared. But then right before I do a mindfulness, visualization.
Where do you do that, Kim? Are you straight out in the open where everybody is, or do you happen to go somewhere else in the competition?
That's a great question. So depending on the time that I'll be dancing, if I'm dancing a little bit later, I might do it in my hotel room. But even still, right before I actually get on the floor. So it depends on the setup. It depends on how much time I have. Yes, it might be right there in the ballroom, but removed from at least, my instructor, or removed from, the people that I'm with just to get some time. But really, when you're at a competition, there's no quiet place. And so here I am going into my, my mindfulness and people are like, Kim, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm great. Yeah. And then I would explain, which is a good thing because you want to be able to have an opportunity or an open space to share with your fellow dancers what you're doing to help make yourself a little bit more successful.
But do they interrupt you? And do you find yourself coming in and out of your mindfulness techniques if they come and approach you while you're trying to get that done?
So interesting, now they don't because they know what I'm doing. So this was back in the beginning when no one really understood and it, happened once or twice. So to come out, remember, you're in a space where it's not like a quiet space that you're actually going into a deep, deep, deep theta type meditation, but it is a mindful meditation. You're aware of your surroundings, you're aware of what's going on, but you have the ability to turn yourself inside of you, so that you can visualize your personal outcome or what you're trying to accomplish for that time frame. So it doesn't really matter if I got interrupted or not. But now, I'll step away and everyone's like, yep, she's going in.
Oh, if there's anything that you could give some tips to that might help someone handle that a little bit more effectively.
Yeah, sure. So I'm that person to overcome fear and anxiety. However, on the competition floor, I am just filled with anxiety and, nerves and fear. And I suspect that's more because it's still a learning phase, like we're still learning and anything and everything can go wrong. And you really want to perform well for yourself and your partner and for the audience. You guys were the ones that were helping to calm my anxieties and my fears, and telling me to smile and relax, turn the nerves and the fear into excitement.
I tend to not reflect nerves as much, and I'm just not sure why. It takes me a long time to decide. And once that decision's made, it's full on for me in terms of the visualization for me is huge in terms of visualizing performance, being physically ready, even when I'm in the competition, sort of waiting area.
Yep.
I will listen to music. Music for me is my mindful sort of shut off, meaning it allows me to keep my thoughts focused.
Yep.
But I don't feel nerves per se. And I don't want to confuse that, meaning that I feel relaxed going on the dance floor.
Yeah.
I am preparing myself for a performance. And when I do feel the nerves, I ask myself, what is going on there?
Yes.
Like what has happened that the nerves have set in? Because generally that's not my, not my game. Yeah.
So we know this, nerves and feelings start where? They start with our thoughts, right? So I always say this: if we want to change the results we're getting in anything, in life, in our dancing, in anything, it starts always with our thoughts. So if we have the ability, and it takes time to learn how to manage your thoughts or control them, because thoughts become things, right? So that's where, back then I wasn't applying all the tools and all the expertise that I have, in terms of, listen, I can coach anybody, but it's very hard to coach ourselves.
Right. That's true.
So
definitely.
But once I learned how to do that, and it's all, again, it starts in our thoughts, and it's so proven. So many top thought thinkers, we know that thoughts become things. So that's where the mindfulness comes in. And once you start, because a thought then comes, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. Conscious mind has the ability to choose any thought it's given. The conscious mind is the place where we can choose to say, I'm going to be nervous in this competition. I'm not as good as the rest. Look at all those girls, how great they are. I could never do that. We have the ability to change those thoughts into, I'm the best dancer, or whatever you tell yourself, or I'm just going to perform the best I possibly can.
Maybe that's why then, Kim, I'm trying to think of why I don't allow those feelings to interrupt what I'm thinking of when I get into a dance competition. I do not allow the idea that there are people all over this dance floor that could be better, maybe not as good, maybe they're here for different reasons. Those thoughts never enter my mind, other than we're all here to have a very similar experience, right? Once you make a decision, you're not looking at it from the field anymore. You're actually in the game. That's my mindset. I've made that decision. No more overthinking. I am getting ready and I'm going.
See, and that's incredible. You have head and shoulders, right by saying what you just said already, you've probably beat your competition that doesn't know how to do that, because it's so important. Because again, if your conscious mind accepts the thought that you're the best, that will go into your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind does not have the ability to choose its thoughts. So the subconscious mind accepts only what it's given.
So you think I'm doing that just naturally? Is that?
I believe so. But I believe that probably somewhere in your lifetime, you learned that worked for you. As a result of your subconscious mind accepting whatever thought that it's given, it produces a feeling inside of us. So imagine if we're giving our subconscious mind positive thoughts or negative thoughts. Either way, the subconscious mind can only accept it. So if you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, could never be, I'm scared, I'm nervous. If you're telling yourself that in your conscious mind and it goes into your subconscious mind will believe that. And then it produces a feeling, anxiety, fear, doubt. And then you go out to perform. So your feelings produce your results. Now, switch that around into, I got this. I'm here to have fun. I'm the best dancer. I'm going to win. Or, whatever it is that you're telling yourself. Look at even my body language, right? As I'm telling myself
confident,
positive
right,
things, and it goes into the subconscious mind, it produces this feeling. Now, this feeling turns into excitement. I'm excited just talking about it. That's what's going to produce the results.
So I think then, if like you said, maybe I'm ahead of it, because the minute I decide, I don't allow those feelings to follow me through. So I might be 2 months out after having decided I am going to this competition. I will be going for the purpose of dancing this style, and this is the outcome that I wish and desire to have. So I manifest that, right?
Yes.
I'm already thinking of that. But I don't carry with me, once the decision's made, I do not carry with me the anxiety to the dance floor or to the event. I seem to leave it behind after the decision is made. So I'm glad for me, because that's not easy for everyone, right? So if you think of, you can be a beginner, you could be a seasoned dancer, and you are still feeling those emotions, or that, like you said, that you're still carrying that with you. And it takes everyone a little bit of something just to be able to get through the day. I might have other issues I deal with. Like I said, I have to go warm up because I'll go and I'll warm up for an hour. That helps me get my entire persona ready for when I arrive in the dance floor. So I'm thinking perhaps that's where I kind of let it all out.
Probably during that practice time that you're sharing with yourself, you're visualizing yourself on the dance floor performing during that time.
So much about visualizing the victory or visualizing the outcome. And I see myself through the choreography. I can follow myself through all of that.
See, that's amazing. Because again, what the mind's eye sees, believe it or not, it has to happen. Because if the mind has already seen it happen and you can visualize it to be true, it has no choice because it's already happened.
How much time does it take you to be sort of ready in your mindfulness?
Not long.
Okay.
Not long.
Is that because you've been practicing it such a long time?
Probably, because sometimes it'll take 5 or 10 minutes to get into that state. If you've been trained, really just a couple of minutes. And basically during that time, I'm visualizing like you do through your dance. I'm visualizing how I want to show up on the dance floor, on the competition floor. I visualize myself on the podium in first place.
That's interesting. I don't take it that far, and it's not because I don't think I want to be the winner. I think my own visualization goes as far as the actual final heats.
Well, I think it all comes into play. I think that if we were sitting here talking to Elisa, like we did a couple of weeks ago, Elisa would say, "Oh, hell yeah, I visualize myself on number one," and right, because that's what she desires. And so for me too, eventually when I got, when I was competing more and more and realizing that, hey, I could be there.
I did say it once out loud. I remember saying it to a coach saying, I want to be the champion of such and such. He says, well, before you ever go there, you're going to have to do your footwork. It's like, okay, gotcha. I got it. I got it covered.
And by the way, it's so true. That's a really, really good point. It's not about, look, we can't really visualize and wish things into existence.
Right.
You have to do the work. You have to do the work. It's how it is. But it's about be, do, and have, right? You want to become. Let's talk about the dancer. Be the dancer that you want to be, but you have to do the things to become that dancer. This way you can have all the benefits that you want to have, whether it's being a champion, whether it's, just winning rounds, whether it's whatever your outcome is, you first have to be. You have to become that person. So become the dancer that you want to be, but you have to do. So it's be, do, have. Do the things necessary. So we're talking about visualizing victory today, but in that as well is physical preparation. Some dancers will prepare like me all year round. I'm always preparing physically in the gym, doing yoga, stretch, meditation, and also, cardio for stamina. Where other dancers will be like, hey, I have my competition in 2 weeks. Let me go hard, And
I'm a little like that. It's not to say that I'm not practicing all year round. Like, don't get me wrong. I do. I go to the gym. I incorporate that along with my lessons. And I learned recently through a coaching just exactly how to show up and prepare all the time. My physical training, anything to do with my costuming. You've learned now that I'm a checklist gal. Perhaps it's more short-term goal planning for me.
Question for you. And do you carry those practices into your life?
I'm someone that's an executor by trade, meaning that I am always completing something. I'm always leading people to the end line. I have the tenacity to drive people towards results. And so there's always some sort of program or project by which I'm arriving at an outcome. That's probably why I carry it through in my dance life, between professionally and the dance thing. It's a similar sort of style that I would approach the result-oriented outcome. If I'm getting ready to choose to go to a competition, there are options that I must think about in figuring out if that's the right choice for me for that.
What would happen if you didn't do any of those things and you just showed up to a competition blind?
I've done it once, so don't laugh. I was on a business trip once and I said, you know what? I'm going to go to that comp with my friends and I'm going to bring my dress and my shoes and I'm going to see if they'll take my last minute entry. This is the year that I won a top open student. And to this day, I would just never do that again. It's unfair to my dance instructor to just kind of show up out of the blue and say, yes, I want to do this.
How did your dance instructor take that? Because
He was open to it because we had practiced extensively,
Yeah.
so we were ready to do it. Most comps won't take you at that last minute. It just happened to be one where we checked, can we put in 5 heats and get into a championship? So Kim just had an idea of something that we think might help our audience, and it's part of her specialty. And so I'm wondering if you could explain to our audience a bit about, we're gonna kind of talk about this, and then we're gonna get up and sort of video the exercise.
Yeah. So we know, and we were just talking about how the thoughts that we feed ourselves affect us, how energy is so important to our results that we're getting in our lives, right? I do this exercise often, and I'd love to do it and share with you how important our thoughts are to the outcome and the results that we're getting in everything that we do in our dancing, in our life, and maybe you can help apply these things, when you're about to get on the competition floor. Here's how the exercise will go.
Okay.
Carol and I are going to stand up. I'm going to ask Carol to hold her arms out and close her eyes, and I'm going to feed her with negative information. That isn't true, naturally, but it's going to be very negative. And then I'm going to press on Carol's arms and ask her to resist me as hard as she possibly can. Resist me. And then we're going to shake it off for a second. And then we're going to do the same thing over. And I'm going to feed Carol with positive words and language. And I'm going to press down on her arms and ask her to resist me, and let's see what the outcome is.
That sounds good, Kim. I've never done this, so this will be an interesting exercise. I look forward to what this is. Okay.
Let's do it. So, Carol, this is an exercise that I use, and it's an exercise in energy, and it's designed to display how our thoughts affect our outcome and how our thoughts can affect our results. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed Carol. I'm going to ask Carol to raise her arms, and I'm going to feed her with negative information that isn't true. Okay, it's going to be about your dancing because we're talking about dance, and none of it is true. However, it's just going to be an exercise in showing how our thoughts can produce our results. So I'm going to ask Carol to raise her arms. I'm going to feed her with negative information. And then I'm going to press down on her arms because I'm going to demonstrate how thoughts will produce results. And then after that, we're going to shake it out for a second. And I'm then going to feed Carol with positive information. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press down on her arms and see if she can resist me. So Carol, I had an opportunity recently to come to a couple of your lessons, and you invited me. And I was watching you dance, and honestly, you asked me to give you my opinion, and I want to say to you, what's going on, girl? You're not dancing up to your level. I don't know, I see you out there, your energy's down. You're not engaged with your partner. I don't really know. I feel like you can be dancing so much better. You're not bringing it, and I don't understand why. When I think you could be a good dancer, but I don't know, is it your confidence in your dancing? I really don't understand, because I think that for all the years that you've been dancing, I was expecting you to show up a lot better. And then I saw, a show dance that you did, and I was kind of like, meh. I was a little bored. You weren't bringing the energy. What's going on there, girl? Resist me. Resist me. Did you resist me?
I did.
I'm using 2 fingers. Do it again. Resist me. Don't shake it out yet. Resist me. Shoot. Oh, you're a lot stronger than that.
It hurts.
I'm sorry. All right, now shake it. None of that was true. None of that was true, by the way. Shake it out. Shake it out.
Okay.
All right. Arms up. All right, girl. I can't believe you invited me to come watch your lesson, and I was blown away. Because I haven't seen you dance in so long, and when you invited me, I was like, I was shocked. I was like, who is that dancing out there? I want to dance like you. I was like, what the heck? Where have you been hiding? Your energy was amazing. Your connection with your partner. I'm like, what the heck? I saw a video of your show dance that you were working on, and I saw a whole bunch of other students, and I was like, look at Carol's dance. There's no other dance that I wanted to see more than your dance. Resist me. Resist me.
Oh my God. Good job.
Crazy, right? I was literally hanging on her and her arms wouldn't come down.
So that's interesting for me, what just happened, because I gave all of my strength to try to resist. And it's, I don't even understand, because I'm thinking, well, you must not have pressed as hard the second time. But yeah,
I did.
It's so funny. And
It is funny. And I know that probably while I was giving you the negative, you were trying to resist that, going, this is bull. This isn't true. See, because it doesn't matter. It's because it doesn't.
It just manifests
It
itself
just manifests.
physically and everything.
Yes, everything.
Really good exercise.
Yes, yeah.
Really good. So keep the positive part of you, although you may hear people say things, you may do all that. And it's, I think, as you practice your techniques of overcoming it,
Yeah.
you will see how much more liberated you're going to feel with a more positive mindset. Right?
Correct. And there's ways, there's tools and things
Yeah.
like that to help you when you feel like you're being fed negative information from the outside or from within, from yourself. There's techniques and things like that to train your mind, to turn those thoughts around, to turn your results around as well.